Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 action fantasy In the Lost Lands. The film is co-written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson and it stars Dave Bautista, Mila Jovovich, we have Fraser James and Ali Over. Right, okay, this is based on a short story by George R. Martin from the Game of Thrones fame. And it focuses on Earth in a post-apocalyptic future. We have Dave Bautista's character Boyce, who is a drifter, a guide. He basically roams the lands, kicking ass, that kind of stuff. And we have Mila Jovovich's character, who plays Grey Alice, who is a witch. Now, in this future, there are a couple of warring factions. There's basically the church and this other one that's ruled by this overlord type thing. And they're kind of at odds with each other, and they have been for many years, and they're always scheming to get the better of each other. So the church sends out its soldiers, headed by their enforcer, to hunt down Grey Alice, this witch. Now, Grey Alice, has her ability, her powers, comes from if she looks you in the eye, she can kind of manipulate you to do whatever she wants, really. But she's also got another thing about her, is she can't refuse any request. So basically, generally, people will go to her. She's a bit like a genie, I suppose. Not that she grants wishes, but she makes their wishes come true in a physical way. So people will come to her and request things, and then she's obliged to make sure that comes true, if you like. So someone might come to her and say, I want this person dead, and she'll do it. Or she might go to her and say, right, I want you to do this or that or whatever, and she has to do it. But these requests all come with dire consequences, really. So, which begs the question why people ask anyway, because surely that would get around. So she has been requested to hunt down and kill what essentially is a werewolf. She hires Dave Bautista's character to guide her where she needs to be, and it's about a week's journey. And all the way she is chased by the church, who are determined to hunt her down and kill her for her heresy. Right, what are my thoughts on In the Lost Lands? Well, I'm a bit conflicted with this one because there's bits about this film I really liked, and there's bits about this film that I didn't. It's quite a frustrating film, really. I found this one. I mean, there's, I think, some spectacular moments of action in it here and there, and I remember there's a scene, if you like, where they're fighting on top of this tram that has been turned into something that can kind of take you across a gorge, fighting these church members, Dave Bautista and Mila Jovovich. I remember thinking to myself, this is actually pretty cool, this film. I'm quite enjoying it. And then it completely grinds to a halt every time it starts going into the politics and the factions and stuff. It was completely uninteresting, that part of the film. I wasn't interested. They could have told that, I think, in a much better way, in a much shorter way, because I was not invested in those characters at all. I didn't care about them, the church and this overlord person who was really being manipulated by the Queen. And it was just back and forth, them trying to get the better of each other. And for me, the film was much better when it was following Grey Alice and the Boyce character. I thought, I was quite invested in their journey. I thought they had decent chemistry together, both Dave Bautista and Mila Jovovich. I thought they had some decent chemistry going on. But I just really disliked it when it started, like I say, getting into the politics, because the story, it got so convoluted and dull, in my opinion, that I just wasn't interested. And for me, absolutely derailed what was at times a visually spectacular film, and at other times, quite a unoriginal and dull film. It was night and day at times, this one, and I just couldn't get my head around anyone watching it thinking, oh, do you know what, this politics stuff is absolutely killing the film. We need to really do something about that and cut it down or whatever, or tell the politics of the world in a short anime at the beginning of the film. Anything. The what they didn't need to kind of keep going back there. I wasn't interested in it at all, that side of the film. Now, Paul W.S. Anderson, we all know that over the last few years he's kind of just grinded out shite, really, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. I mean, his Resident Evil series of films, started off decent enough, I suppose. And to be fair, I can't comment that much because I've not watched them all. I might subject myself to those movies at some point. But, he just ended up churning out a load of old shite in regards to the Resident Evil films. But he's done some great stuff over the years. Mortal Kombat, Soldier, Death Race was entertaining. Aliens versus Predator, I know that got a lot of flack, but it was a big budget studio movie that I don't actually mind too much. But his magnus opus, obviously, is Event Horizon. But he just keeps churning out these middling, like, action fantasy type films. That nobody really remembers or has great things to say about. And this, unfortunately, is going to be another one of those. While I don't think this is completely without merit, as I've said, I do think at times it's visually very spectacular. And at other times, it's mind-numbingly dull. But it definitely does have some things going for it. There is a twist at the end that I don't know, depending on who you are, you might figure it out, or you might kind of have questions about it. I personally didn't mind the twist at the end, but again, how they finished the story and finished the film just left me scratching my head. I'm kind of like, what are they doing? What are they talking about? Don't get it. Don't understand it really, and it was the result of the over convoluted mess that came before. It was almost like they were scrambling to give us a finish that made sense, but by trying to give us a finish that made sense, it just confused matters even more. Certainly, in my opinion, anyway. So I did find some things about this to enjoy. It's one of these films that's going to go under a lot of people's radars. I don't think this type of film is going to do a great deal for Dave Bautista's career. For me, he's worryingly choosing poor projects. He did this early in his career. He picked some quite poor projects, and then obviously he made it big, and he's done some really good stuff over the years, and he keeps saying he wants to push himself as an actor, and then he takes films like this. And I don't understand it. I don't think he needs to take films like this. I think personally he's better than this. We all know why Mila Jovovich, is in films with Paul W.S. Anderson, and if you don't know, they're married. But beyond that, I just don't think this is a film on his CV that he's going to be particularly proud of, Dave Bautista. That's just my opinion, anyway. So yeah, not completely without merit. If you quite like these post-apocalyptic, sci-fi action films with some outstanding visual moments in it, then you might really get along with this. But I suspect the politics and the convoluted nonsense that's in it will probably also put a lot of people off, because it certainly did me. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.